Alright guys, Big Daddy Chop's Toy Labs, we're doing reviews again. I got this wonderful War Machine. We're going to work through everything pretty fast. This is going to be a quicker review than usual. Yeah, let's get it done. Let's check him out. I want to give a big thank you to This Is Horrorcrux for making this grab for me. He happened to be out of town, saw him, knew I was looking for him, picked him up. Gotta love having friends that know what you're looking for. Thank you, Jerry. Let's get this started. Alright guys, War Machine. And I gotta say, out of the packaging, he's beautiful. He's, Hasbro. It just seems like every time that I want to step away and be like, no, I'm only gonna go with other people, Mezco and everyone else, Hasbro just has a way of sucking me back in. But it's okay. This is something I've been waiting for. And you really got to give it up to Hasbro for these deluxe releases. All these deluxe releases with all of their goodies that come with them make a figure absolutely worth $30. Everything this figure comes with absolutely makes him worth $30. The new sculpting, the new bodywork, the pinless elbows, all of it I think is worth $30. Some may differ, but having the effects that takes it for me to an import style quality for a figure. Not exactly maybe the articulation of an import or some of the paint that you would get with an import, but it seems like Hasbro is taking a step in the direction that they should go in and actually listening to the fans and what the fans want. So, before I babble too long, let's get him scooted back and we're going to work through the accessories. Now it is an absolute shit show for me to try to balance these on camera on a diorama, so I'm not even going to do that. Let me get a drink of water. Lessons from the pro. Drink your water. Alright, so they come with these awesome blast effects that came with the Iron Man 2020, and they've actually given them a little bit more love this time. Before they were just a certain color plastic. It was just the yellow pinkish, yellow orangish plastic, blah 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 blah. And they actually gave it this nice gray paint, so it holds up nice and it looks more like a blast off. Okay, sorry, one more drink of water. And also with this, they give you the blast off foot effects. Pop right in, which is actually kind of nice if you can get him balanced on there. Well, without it, he's just got the pegs on the bottom of the feet. Boop. Pop him in. He's taking off. I'm gonna try not to keep my hands too far from him because every time I try to do this on camera, even unboxing him live on Instagram like I did. And on the weekends, guys, I typically do go live on Instagram. If you want to see me paint dioramas, pose pictures, that's what I'm doing on the weekends. And usually J.A. Lemons from Haha, and I caught him. See, I knew it was going to happen. J.A. Lemons from Fig Mob usually joins me on these live broadcasts, and it's kind of fun. We sit and talk about figures, we pose figures, and we talk about all the ever coming and ever avalanche, it seems, of figure releases anymore. But that's okay. In these tough times, we all need something that makes us happy. And I think these make a lot of people happy. Alright, so I'm going to quit babbling. Gotta give it up for the coffee. Making my mouth run a little too much. So we're going to go through these pretty quick. Oops, get my arm out of the way. Alright, they come with little blast effects that actually go in the barrel of the gun on the arm. You see the nice little portholes. And you got to be careful, as you saw, the gun is pretty pliable, so you don't want to bend it. I have that problem whenever I put on the spray effect. But yeah, you can have him laying down some quick justice. And then of course after it's all said and done, you can have the dramatic pose with the next effect that they give us for this gun. And they're actually two separately sculpted smoke effects, so you can put them in different guns, different barrels, and actually get a nice little effect with those. And then the last thing for this gun is actually this guy here, which is, it's beautiful. It's something you see a lot from Mezco, and I love to see this, that this is the way that Hasbro is going with some of their effects. And it looks good, it balances, don't throw the weight off too well. It's nice and pliable plastic, so you ain't gonna be afraid of breaking it if it's on him. Now it might warp if it's that sounded weird whenever I said it. If it gets set in a position that it doesn't like for too long. Now, if I can get the effects from underneath the camera, we have the blast effect for his cannon on his shoulder here, and then also an effect for the rockets. And I mean, wow, Hasbro. That's all I can say. I would have never expected this. I would have expected maybe the cannons and stuff like that, but them giving us all the blast effects for War Machine, thank you. Thank you, Hasbro. Thank you, the team at Hasbro, for finally listening to fans and giving us what we want. I'll take it any day. Boop. And then one thing I found out, taking these out of the package, the rockets actually come off and they're just ported in. So if you wanted to have like him armorizing or working on, you could have a civilian roadie like you'll see that I put together. You can actually take and have him working on his armor, maybe adding the rockets to it. So that's a nice little effect too. Let's see. Okay, now that appears to be all the effects that come with him. Now, if you wanted to, the two shoulder cannons do actually come off. They are on a ball joint, as you see there. So you can pop them on and off if you wish. Or, if you just want them out of the way, they are on this nice little slide track. Like you see so. And they just slide back. Oops. Don't push too hard. I've gotten a little too comfortable with my Marvel Legends, so I push them back pretty hard. Yeah, I think it looks wonderful. It's actually very comic accurate. I have a comic that I picked up the other day that I want to do a recreation of, and he is exactly off the pages of that comic, and it is beautiful. So now let's go over articulation and some of the new features that Hasbro's thrown into this, besides the fact that you would think that they would just do a simple repaint of the 80-year Iron Man, but that's not what we got here. It's not what we got at all. So it does appear to be the same hands as the 80-year Iron Man. There we go. Repainted in black, or just the fist. Nice new gauntlets on top of there, and as you can see, pinless technology. We have the technology. We can make you stronger, and they've done it. Thank you, Hasbro. Like, that's beautiful. It's not something I feel like I have to touch up in a photo or hide in any manner of way. And as you saw, there was the system for those to go up and down. As I told you, I was going to continue to knock that off. Boop. There we go. And if you want them a little smaller and not so top heavy, they can also spin around and fold down, so that way they're even more so out of the way. So as far as the arms, I love that. And this was a nice little touch too. Most of the time with Hasbro, these arm pads are actually attached to the body. Well, this time they're actually attached to the arm, so there's no hindrance whenever you go up into flight poses, or even just to have him do something. It doesn't stick out like a sore thumb or hinder the arm from doing something you would like it to do. I don't think I've spun that arm around yet. I just don't know with the other one, but yeah. It's just super nice that they would do that. Now, it would have been neat to see a different diaphragm cut. I think that Hasbro has done it on enough figures now that they could keep doing it on certain figures, but it doesn't look too bad. It hides pretty well whenever you give him his ab crunch. Now, he does lean pretty far forward with all his stuff, and he's got a decent little lean back, which will be nice for flight poses and stuff like that. Head goes up, like I was saying again, flight poses, not too bad. Looking down, all on the small creatures, because he is War Machine. Alright. So we did arms, and of course, these are just on the standard wrist peg, no rocker action like we've been getting on some things, which is okay. It would have been nice to have maybe an open hand, to have Rhodey picking up something or grabbing a gun, but it is what it is. I'm not going to complain. And we do have all new sculpting and going through the waist and on the belt. All new sculpting on the knees, legs, and even the feet. The feet are sculpted differently. So, I mean, through and through, I have seen a few people complain about the paint colors not matching from his face, which is more metallic, to here, which is actually, it's more metallic here too, but on his legs and arms it's slightly off, almost opaque, if you can kind of see it on camera here. I think the lights, the settings that I have on all my lights actually kind of make it to where it blends pretty well, which I'm not mad at it. It's going to blend well in photos. There's detail all the way throughout the head sculpt, and of course they added this nice little laser scope targeting system to Rhodey's head, so it gives him that extra War Machine look, not so much Iron Man. You can tell them apart. Oh, and I am forgetting about one other accessory that does come with this Rhodey, because I did have it on a civilian kit bash that I made. Pop his head off, and we got a new kind of joint. Well, maybe not new for me seeing it on Hasbro, just not our standard rocker peg. Seems to be a double barbell system, and the Rhodey head pops on nice and easy if I wouldn't pop off the guns every time. And this Rhodey head is beautiful. It just absolutely looks good. He's got the cuts into his flat top. Just looks like somebody you wouldn't want to mess with. This is Rhodey, War Machine. Alright guys, well, that's going to be it for accessories and articulation. Sorry I got a little long-winded. I'll probably cut a lot of that out. That's okay. And we're going to keep moving on to the next part of the video, which is going to be size comparisons. Alright guys, and now we're going to do the size comparisons. First thing I want to do is I've put together some civilian bodies for Rhodey and Carol. Carol's stuck to that. I'm knocking stuff down. She kept wanting to slide off of it and get her all posed up to where she'll stand. Classic comic book couple. Boom. They size up very well, stand nice together. And so, since I had these two, I had both their civilian heads. I also wanted to make civilian versions of both of them. Reach out camera and grab these guys. So I used the Killmonger body, put the Rhodey head on there. Skin tone's a little different, but I'm not mad at it. And then a civilian Carol Danvers on the Jessica Jones body from the Netflix. Listen to me, I sound like an old person. The Walmart. Alright, well, keeping on going. I have a couple of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. We have Nick Fury, who's not a man in a suit, so he should be smaller. And S.H.I.E.L.D. agent in any universe in my heart. We have Phil Coulson. Can't go wrong with Phil Coulson. That's just my opinion. So leave Phil to the side. Keep moving on. As far as heavy-powered teammates would go, have the Punisher. I think the Punisher and War Machine match up pretty well. Set that camera on a bit. And then his buddy, Iron Man. Stand about the same height. Yeah, they're about the same height. On camera it looked a little different, but no, you get them side to side, they match up pretty well. And as you can see, it's not a complete, whoops, as I knocked everything down. It is not a complete reuse of everything from this figure, like a lot of us assumed it would be. Like I know I've heard a lot of people in the community just go, just repaint Iron Man and give us a War Machine already. And I was completely on board with that. But I'm glad that they gave it more love, time, and attention, and we have something so much better to show off. So, if we were gonna start mixing it up, I have a Mezco Logan, Cowboy Logan, that I gotta say looks great with. I'm a huge fan of my Mezcos now. That's why I said that Hasbro's just about sucked me into where I don't know what I'm gonna do anymore. And I have my custom Thunderbolt Ross, which is on a Mattel Rick Flag body. Gave him a little paint, a little love to an Everett Ross head. So now I have my own Thunderbolt Ross General. I got some more decals coming in for him that's gonna make him really fire. And speaking of a really fire version of the same person, we have Red Hulk. And as you can see, Red Hulk stands much taller, as he should, but that's alright. I think these two are gonna have some awesome explosive adventures, you could say. Let's keep moving on. Now, if we're going to compare him to one of his bigger versions, I would like to compare him to this MCU War Machine. Now, this is not the one that we saw in the movie. This is the one that Hasbro made off of concept art, and I'm glad they did, because it is a pretty sweet version to have. If we're gonna mix up universes and throw in that something that's a completely different line, we have the McFarlane Mortal Kombat line. We have Spawn, which I was very happy to pick up this figure. Seems like he's a hard one to nab every now and then. And then we have our Kamen Rider, Agito. Easy there, Spawn. Don't need to be tearing anything else up on hell. And then one more size comparison that I think is a pretty good match that I could see these two doing some damage. We have Hasbro's Classified Series Snake Eyes. This is the standard release, but you gotta give it up, man. The black on silver always looks good. These three actually look like they'd be a pretty good crew. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed the review. I know I might have got a little long-winded, but I have to say, I thoroughly enjoy this figure. I hope you guys enjoy the photos, and let's give it up. Thank you, Hasbro, for this War Machine. Thank you, this is Horrorcrux, for finding this guy for me. If you guys want to check out any of my photos, I'll be posting them. I'll have a few at the end of this. I'll be posting more on Instagram. Feel free to check me out on Instagram at Big Daddy Chops Toy Photos. Please give this video a like, subscribe, share with your friends. Let everyone know Big Daddy Chops is doing toy reviews. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you. Have a good night.